our Indian economy was growing quite well for 20, 30 years. And sometimes in the last 20 years, we've said that we've been the fastest growing free market economy. And in fact, we were the fastest growing large economy in the world, just short of China. So we're celebrating all of this. And of course, in the last 2, 3, 5 years, there were times when it was going down, and we were concerned about what? We were concerned about the GDP growth rate going down. Hmm? So here we were, all of us, especially the people who run the country and those who advise those who run the country, sitting within a bus. And it's a big bus, the Indian economy. And these people sitting in the front. And suddenly COVID made the bus stop. There was a big obstacle, and the bus had to suddenly stop. And the people in the bus were horrified to see that there were many people who were not in the bus with them, but were part of the travel. They were sitting on top of the bus. They were clinging onto the side of the bus. As the bus was moving faster and faster, it was becoming more and more difficult for them actually to stay with the economy, to stay in the economy and with the economy. And when the bus stopped, they all fell off. In fact, as this bus was growing faster and India was, in the minds of these people, developing, they were being served inside the bus, well, better safety seats for them, more comfortable travel for them, being served French wine, Swiss cheeses. It's like being in the first class of an aeroplane or in the bus. And just behind them, maybe other people, say upper middle class people, who were also getting some chips and cold drinks inside the bus and maybe some safety belts. And tinted glasses being put on the bus so that we weren't disturbed by the bad sights outside and the sunlight outside. Didn't even know who was outside this bus traveling along with us. So when the bus stopped and all these people fell on the road and started walking, these migrants, we said, ये कब थे? ये कहाँ थे? ये हमारे साथ ही थे? हमारे शहर में रहते थे? कहाँ रहते थे ये? We didn't know. Yes, they were serving us. They were, as Seema says, the economy actually building things, serving us, enabling us to travel in this nice fashion. But we didn't know. Perhaps we didn't much care. What were we caring about? Inside this bus, there was a dashboard which had two instruments on it. One very big one, which was the GDP meter. We kept measuring progress by our GDP. और अभी भी लोग कह रहे हैं. I mean, till recently they were saying 5 trillion, 5 trillion. I was shocked to see today. I am invited to a seminar next week on Tuesday. CI is organizing it. And one discussion is how to become a $5 trillion economy again. Now, what are you focusing on? So this is the one instrument that we have. Of course, people sitting in the front of the bus, they personally have a lot of wealth. And how do they make their wealth? They make their wealth by the appreciation of their investments. So they are looking at another meter in the bus, which I call like the RPM meter, is the stock market meter, which is telling them whether market hot ho rahi hai, cool ho rahi hai. And like an RPM meter, it goes up and down. It really doesn't drive the bus, but you have to keep it sort of steady, as it were, so you pay attention to it. These are the two meters in the front. We don't have a dashboard to guide our policies, which includes other instruments on it. Now, this is not a new thing. And Seema, when you said that you thought that after the 2018 financial crisis, people's minds have changed. They haven't changed. I'm talking about now. They still haven't said there are other instruments that we should be using in our policy. It's not just in India, it's all around the world. The recovery method after the financial crisis was devised by whom? By the financial institutions, by the G20 finance ministers. So using the same model to recreate the model which has caused the problem in the world. So we need thinking outside the establishment, new thinking. And this is where the conversation has to go. And in this conversation, to include in this, I'm so happy what you've done here. I mean, like Anshu or Seema or Ashaji was just spoke, Seema Pathakji. I mean, these are the people whose voices need to be heard. What should be that, a set of instruments? So we have to influence the course of affairs. So this is one side about on the top, कि उनके ख्याल क्या हैं, or what instruments do they use. I think we need another model, as Seema said. We need a different way for the world to progress. And that's where I feel that Gandhiji's model, or which is the model of local development, governed by the people themselves, yeah, who can manage their own environment better than anyone can manage for them. These people must be at the center of the new model, the new economy. And it's not a new thing. I mean, this model we had for our country, it's said in our constitution, we keep saying so, development for the people, by the people, of the people. But that's not what we actually do. We are doing it, as we said, sitting in the front of the bus. Yeah, development for the people sitting in the front of the bus and for satisfying their needs for what they want to see as improvements in their lives. Huh? So let's get a movement of change which is built on what Anshu's been doing for years and yourself, Osama, is more empowerment for people whose lives really must be improved. And they must have a big role in saying what should be improved and also actually doing it very much more themselves. This is a bottom-up model of development. दुनिया में भी ये कह रहे हैं SDGs. So SDG United Nations ने बनाई हैं. They made into 17 compartments. So there's a health compartment, there is an education compartment, there's a water and an oceans compartment, वगैरह. But that all operation is in silos. तो अभी भी COVID में ये देखिए, we've got a solution from the medical side which said, please lock down. Huh? They're calling it social distancing. Unfortunately, they meant is the physical distancing. Parantu, without understanding the whole system, if you lock down people into their little homes, and sometimes they don't even have a little home to be locked down in, how do they live? How do they live? So I was quite, CIA new council they've got on public health starting. And this, I won't name the doctor. He's the doctor who's advising the government at the moment on the topic COVID mein kya ho raha hai. So he himself said introductory remarks, yes, we are trying to manage the COVID, this rate and that, but what I'm getting concerned about, he said, the number of TB cases and the patients not able to get treatment for TB, that's multiplying even faster than what is happening in COVID. So we are so focused on one silo, COVID, 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 that we are forgetting that for life, we need many other things. I mean, many other diseases, Anshuji ne bhi kaha. I mean, he was suffering or is suffering from other things too. Uski bhi tension nahi honi chahiye. But so much focus on one thing, we are forgetting other things. And this is just on the medical side, okay, the silos within the medical side. But then the medical part of our lives is not the only part of our lives. We need, as we said, some income, some food, etc. So to have systems thinking and collaboration amongst experts for dealing with different parts of the system, this is a very fundamental change that needs to be made in the whole world. Is United Nations divided into compartments? This is not going to work. Science broken up into specialist disciplines in which the experts don't understand the language of the other scientists. This is not going to improve the system of the world, right? So this is what I was suggesting, that simple people can talk systems, by the way. You don't need experts. Yes,
okay, sir, I'm sorry, I'm going to be a little greedy and I'm going to ask you, you were in the planning commission, erstwhile planning commission. Let's say a wand is waved and you're back in the planning commission again, and the prime minister of the country asks you, what are the 4 or 5 or fundamental steps that we can take and should take tomorrow or in the short term or the medium term? What would your how would this difference in that is in fact a common theme running through your essay and Anshu's essay and Seema Chishti's essay and Osama's essay also, that you have to stop looking at the people in the front of the bus and start looking at the people at the back of the bus or perhaps in the middle of the bus. What would you sort of whatever tangible terms is possible tell the Prime Minister, do A, B, C, D, E, F, G?
Yes, actually, Manmohan Singh ji had asked me, since I was not a government person and not an economist, when he invited me to join the planning commission, I said to him कि आपकी गलती होगी शायद, मेरा नाम तो अरुण मायरा है, MAIRA स्पेल करता है, शायद आप किसी और को बुलाना चाह रहे थे, मैं तो इकोनॉमिस्ट नहीं हूँ, गवर्नमेंट में कभी काम नहीं किया है सर. तो उन्होंने कहा इसीलिए बुलाया आपको कि आपने गवर्नमेंट में कभी काम नहीं किया, ना एक इकोनॉमिस्ट है. ये वी नीड अनदर पैराडाइम. जैसे बच्चे होते हैं ना, दे कैन टेल द एम्परर कि आपके कपड़े नहीं हैं, आप समझ रहे हैं कि बड़े फैंसी कपड़े पहने, आप तो नंगे ही हैं. वी नीड अ पर्सन लाइक एन इनोसेंट चाइल्ड ऑब्जर्विंग क्या हो रहा है और हमको बताओ कि हमारी गलती क्या है. और बात यह है कि how I learned, that was supposed to be my job. My grandson, I mean, he was only 5 or 6 at that time, 7 years old, sorry. तो उसने बताया, वो आए यहाँ अमेरिका से हमारे साथ चले, देख रहे हमारे देश में कि इतने गरीब लोग हैं, और वो भी हमारे साथ एक टिंटेड ग्लास की गाड़ी में जा रहे थे। तो उसने उन्होंने कहा कि ये लोग बाहर कौन है, सड़क पे बच्चे उनके गोद में हैं, सड़क पे खा रहे हैं, सो रहे हैं, ये क्यों होता है यहाँ? तो कहा कि ये तो पॉवर्टी है, पर हम ख्याल कर रहे हैं प्लानिंग कमीशन में, हम दिखाएंगे आपको, हमारे प्लान्स बने हैं। तो बच्चे ने कहा हमको देख के, बड़ी बड़ी किताबें, कि दादाजी ये किताब ना लिखो, जरा लोगों की बातें सुनो। और उन्होंने ऐसी लिखी, मेरे पोते ने, स्कूल में जाके वापस, कि आपने सब्र में क्या किया, सब बच्चों से पूछते हैं कि छुट्टियों में क्या किया। तो उन्होंने एक प्लानिंग कमीशन की किताब लिखी, और जिनमें उसने कहा कि प्लानिंग कमीशन ऐसी जगह उनके ख्याल में थी, होनी चाहिए, जहाँ देश के सब गरीब लोग आ सकते हैं, और वहाँ प्लानिंग कमीशन में कोई होगा जो उनकी बातें सुनेगा, और उनकी बातें जब सुनी जाएंगी तो वो फिर गरीब नहीं होंगे। तो दो बड़ी बातें हैं इसमें, एक तो उनके आइडिया, उनके प्रॉब्लम सुनने चाहिए, और दूसरी बात, अब किसी और की बात सुनो तो उनकी डिग्निटी बढ़ती है। तो हमारे देश में ये बात है, जो गरीब हैं वो हम समझते हैं, हाँ उनकी इनकम तो गरीबी है, पर वो क्या है बेचारे, उनके दिमाग में कुछ नहीं है, कुछ होश नहीं है, जोश नहीं है, उनका क्या सुन सकते हैं हम? ये गलती है। और इसलिए हम कह रहे थे कि अगर लोकल लोगों को आप करने दें, और फिर हमने प्लानिंग कमीशन में फिर सुने, बहुत लोगों से सुना, और सामा जी ने हमारी मदद की इसमें। हमने कितने लोगों से, एक 1,000 एनजीओ को बुलाया, और हर एनजीओ ने कहा हम तो 1 मिलियन 2 मिलियन लोगों से सुनते हैं, 10 लाख वगैरह का, ठीक है, आप हजारों से हम इतने लाखों करोड़ों के लोगों को सुन सकेंगे, आप बताइए हमको क्या सोल्यूशन होनी चाहिए। तो उससे फिर हमने सिनारियोज बनाए सिस्टम थिंकिंग के साथ, कि इंडिया की सोल्यूशंस क्या हैं। एक तो हम कह रहे हैं कि हमारी प्लानिंग प्रोसेस, गवर्नेंस प्रोसेस को बदलना है, जो गरीब लोग हैं उनकी आवाज़ ज़्यादा होनी चाहिए प्लानिंग में, कि बड़े इकोनॉमीज की आवाज़ कम होनी चाहिए। दूसरी बात हमने कहा, लोकल डेवलपमेंट, डेवलपमेंट हैज़ टू बी डन लोकली। जो केरला का मॉडल है, जैसे सीमा जी बता रही थी, इट वर्क्स इन केरला, क्योंकि थोड़ी हिस्ट्री है वहाँ। अगर हमने शायद हिमाचल में शुरू करना है या झारखंड में शुरू करना है, जैसे वो जगह है वहीं से शुरू करना पड़ेगा। पर उस जगह को कौन जानता है, जो वहाँ लोग काम कर रहे हैं, जो वहाँ रह रहे हैं। जैसे सीमा पाठक जी हैं बिहार में, उनकी सुन के कि यहाँ क्या होना चाहिए, और हम आपकी सुनेंगे, और आप हमको, गवर्नमेंट को बताइए क्या होना चाहिए। आजकल तो दूसरी बात हो रही है, गवर्नमेंट बता रही है इनको, तुमको यही करना है। और जैसे वो कह रही थी कि हम सुनते जाते हैं इन लोगों से, पर असली बात कोई नहीं कर रहा था। तो ये दो चीजें हमने कहा जरूर बदलनी है। उसके बाद आता है एजुकेशन कैसी बढ़ेगी, हेल्थ कैसी बढ़ेगी, ऐसे ही बढ़ेगी लोकल सॉल्यूशंस, कम्युनिटी वर्किंग टुगेदर, finding what is the system solution for themselves, and the government and we rich people supporting them, not the other way around, that we are using these people in our enterprises. वो हम उन लोगों को अपने एंटरप्राइज में पार्टनर बना रहे हैं, उल्टा होना चाहिए, हमको उनकी एंटरप्राइजेस में पार्टनर बनना चाहिए।